What's up, everybody? Welcome back to the Second Street Marvel. I am your host, Trinity. Thank you all so much for being here today to hear me flap my gums about what we're getting ready to talk about today. Now, the other day, I was actually did a video kind of out of the norm for my channel here. I don't normally talk and do videos where I go and read articles or anything like that. But guys, that video was about some of the announcements recently made by Collider that they were going to be getting rid of some of their shows on their platform. And in case you guys don't know who Collider is, like I myself, I don't watch a whole lot of Collider or anything like that. They're just I don't know, they're just not my thing. But I did a video about that, and once again, I want to give a big shout out to LB from the Lonely Banter, who actually had shared this article with me that Collider was getting rid of some of their content. And in case you guys don't know, Collider is a pretty big company. You know, they're pretty big in social media, and on their website, and even here on YouTube. And so I thought it was something kind of interesting to talk about because there's somewhat in the same space that I am, talking about movies and just different things like that. So I just kind of felt like maybe it was a little bit appropriate to talk about, considering what was going on at the time with Collider, because they had actually went and announced that they were getting rid of several of their shows. Now, I went through all my commentary and I kind of talked about that just a little bit, as far as just about as far as how big of a deal that was, because Collider, I mean, they're huge. Like I said, they're a big channel, and they have a huge following, and it's hey, they worked hard to get that. They certainly not everybody likes their content. Like I said, even I rarely ever go to their channel to watch any of their videos, and I'm not saying I've never been there. I just rarely go there myself. But so I went ahead and talked about that and kind of how big of a deal it is, kind of the impact that that's going to have not only on their channel, but also on YouTube altogether, and just in the space of people who talk about movies and just some of the nerdy things that we like out there so much. Because, I'm a big movie buff myself. So that's something I thought was very interesting. So I went ahead and I did a video about that. And I'm telling you, like, that video kind of took off, and it was a video where I read an article. And guys, if you know me, I don't like reading articles on just from online or anything. To me, it's just uncreative, it's unimaginative, and so I don't normally do that, but I went ahead and did that. But if you guys want to go back and watch that show, hello Rosetta Allen, thank you so much for being here. I hope you're doing well today. So I did that video, and lo and behold, I was talking about how big of a deal that was, coming, that announcement that had come out. Well, today it appears that just I don't know what was, probably, I don't know, either earlier today or last night, possibly yesterday, there was a guy out there who is apparently the second in charge over there at Collider, had went out and made this tweet. Okay, now I did drop in the live chat here. I dropped a link to a video that John Campea had just done, and we'll talk about that in just a minute. But I was talking the other day about how big of a deal it was that they went out there and started, canceling all these shows and everything, and just how big of a deal that means for, really, I guess, a lot of us, to talk about movies and things like that. So here's what I want to start off with is this right here is this guy who over here, who is apparently the second in charge over there at Collider, came out and on Twitter and made this tweet that I am about to show you right here. He makes this tweet, and it says, I wonder why Collider chose to focus their resources on industry professional content and not daily movie commentary and fart jokes. Okay, and this was with, as you can see here, this actually came with a retweet that he did of Scott Mann saying, best moment from yesterday's sold out Q&A for Once Upon a Time in Hollywood at the ArcLight Cinemas in Hollywood. Obviously, writer and director Quentin Tarantino told me he watches Collider FYC. I believe that's for your consideration. And then he called me out for not putting Once Upon in my top 5. It was number 6. And, just for the record, Once Upon a Time in Hollywood was a pretty damn good movie. But so this guy right here, this Jack Hind, is apparently the second in charge over under Mark Fernandez, and I won't confess to know a whole lot about them, but he comes out here and makes this tweet saying, "I wonder why Collider chose to focus their resources on industry professional content and not daily movie commentary and fart jokes." Guys, I talk a lot here on my channel just about leadership and just different things like that, and how we all should try to be and maybe conduct ourselves and those kinds of things out there. And this guy is the second in charge over at Collider, and the things he's saying here about the people who put in all their hard work into all of these TV shows that, it's not TV shows, but all these streaming shows that got canceled. Okay, these were big shows. These were shows even I heard of, not ever really watching Collider. And this guy goes out here and just absolutely talks all kinds of trash there on Twitter. And about all these people. I mean, you're throwing all these people under the bus and completely discounting every single piece of work that they done. I mean, you can go and look at this guy's profile there on Twitter and everything. Again, his name is Jack Hind. You can see that he's coming under a lot of fire for this, and he actually deleted this very tweet that I am showing you right now. This is actually a screenshot from somebody else that had responded to him. Now, like I said, I've talked a lot about these kinds of things. Just the other day, but about leadership. And when you're in a leadership position, you got to set an example for others to follow. And this right here, what this guy is saying about all these people's hard work, no matter whether you like them or not, okay, these people work hard at doing what they do, going on these daily shows, weekly shows, whatever frequency they put them out in, and built an audience and started these shows and had built an audience. And that was something I talked about the other day, is how big Collider is and how many people go and watch their shows. And they just completely went out there and canceled a whole bunch of their shows. And I was saying that's going to it's going to affect, for one, their channel. It's probably going to affect their input, their money, and things like that. And then you got the second guy in charge, supposedly, over at Collider, making these kind of comments about other people's hard work. This stuff is absolutely ridiculous. This is not how you act, especially if you are in a leadership position, let alone if you're the second in charge at a company. This isn't what you do. I could understand if maybe it was somebody that was on the show, or maybe it was somebody, maybe it was one of their press secretary, or maybe, somebody else like that. But this, guys, this is ridiculous. Nobody should do this. If you ever have a job, and I'm guarantee you almost anybody ever watching this has a job, you shouldn't ever just trample on somebody else's work and speak badly about them, especially on a public forum in such a way. This conduct is very, very unbecoming of anybody to go out there and do and say these things. It's pretty messed up. So I'm going to go through here, and I'm going to go ahead and show you guys a little bit more. On this here. Now this was the tweet that this Jack Hind had put out there. But let me go ahead and show you this right here. This is a tweet that this guy Ken Napzok, apparently he had. He used to work for Collider, I'm guessing. Like I said, I don't really watch him, but he was responding here to Jack Hind. He posted there on his wall, and I didn't go to see if he was responding to somebody else here or anything. But he says, "Nah, you deleted it at Jack Hind, but you can't run. I've been an industry professional longer than you've been alive. Jobs come and go. Companies too. You'll soon find out. Our integrity remains. People lost money and medical. You danced on their graves. Take your medicine, son." He's absolutely right. And that's exactly what I was just saying. That's not how you should be conducting yourself. And just like he says, that's something I talk here on my channel about as well. Integrity. Our integrity is worth so much, but it sells for so little. This guy sold his integrity for making a fucking snarky tweet about people that lost their jobs, about people who built a following and brought viewers to their fucking channel. And this asshole has to go and show this complete lack of leadership, this complete lack of integrity, and this is utter nonsense. And that's why I'm sitting here talking about this right now. This is absolutely ridiculous. If somebody said that to me about my work, I would be absolutely pissed off, because in anything I do, I bust my ass. And I can guarantee you the people that built the following over at Collider for these shows that lost their jobs feel the same fucking way. And this guy's out there talking shit, and this is the second guy in charge over at Collider. And this is absolutely ridiculous. And Ken Knapsack is absolutely right, 100%. And you can go through here and check out some of the different retweets. Robert Meyer Burnett actually sits here and posted on there too. He says, "Post of the day, well done, sir. Now everybody go out and buy Knapsack's great book." Apparently this guy's a writer and had wrote a book regarding why we love Star Wars, the great moments that built a galaxy far, far away. And then we see other people coming in here. Says, yes, professional content like checks notes, using computer programs to pretend to be George Lucas saying jokes from 2006. And you just go here down the list. You got this guy right here. He goes in there and plugs his channel on there on this chat. And you can scroll down here and find some of these things. This guy Jack Hind actually even responds. Says, "Sorry, the daily shows and the weekly shows you were all on did not perform well enough to stay around. It sucks, it really does. But the YouTube community didn't support you in the channel. Only now, once it's gone." Jack Hind, how big of a fucking idiot do you have to be? Are you serious? Do you realize what you just said right there? And you can go scroll down through here and find everybody that is replying to this. Everybody's responding to this guy in what he's saying here. Because like this guy is the second in charge, and you should not be saying these things. And Ken Knapsack replies, "You think I haven't lost jobs before or understand how business works? This is a drop in the bucket. But 3 full-time jobs were cut that dramatically uprooted lives. Be excited for your future. You should. That's how business works. But this isn't how you celebrate it." Okay, and then you can go through here and scroll through here and see all of the different people that are responding to these things, talking not only about the leadership, but Tanner Kruger here says, "They were performing till new leadership meddled with the vision. Leadership killed this. Not the on-the-screen talent. You're just not taking credit for the mistakes that cost jobs." 100% Tanner Kruger. Scott Michael replies with a quote, "I'm not gonna dance on the grave of canceled shows." 2 seconds later, "I'll fucking do it again." Just all these things right here, and you can see a lot of these other people are on here talking about these people that lost their jobs and how they are all going to unfollow and unsubscribe from Collider. And the other day I was even talking about this. This is going to be a big deal. Collider is a huge channel. A lot of people went over there and subscribed. A lot of people watched those shows. And you got this guy who is apparently in a leadership position over there at Collider talking all kinds of trash about the people that lost their jobs, the shows that they were on, and the work that they were doing. Never do this, people. Never do this. I don't care if you're working with somebody, especially if you're in a leadership role, but I don't care if you're working with somebody and somebody's not doing work that's up to standards. You still don't talk like this. There are ways to handle these kinds of situations. This is absolutely ridiculous. And like I said, you can go through here and maybe I'll see if I can go ahead and I'll leave a link to these tweets down in the comments section as well for you guys to go check out if you would like to. Here, I'll go ahead and leave that right there for you guys to go check out. This is ridiculous. This, and in case you didn't see the thumbnail up there and the title there, this is Collider canceling themselves. This is not how you conduct yourself. I don't care who you are. You don't do this. This is absolutely wrong, and I can guarantee you, Collider is going to be feeling the ramifications of this guy's tweet for a very long time. Well, maybe not very long at all. They may not have a subscribership, very big subscribership left after this, because this is messed up. This is messed up. And like I said, I'm only talking about this because this was all brought to my attention by LB over at the Lonely Banter. You guys should definitely make sure that you go check out his channel and check out his content. Really great dude. LB is one of my favorite YouTubers, and I guess you could say he's my brother in arms here on YouTube. Very great guy. You should go check out his content. And I actually told him he should make a video about this as well, just because, you know what? I want to hear his take on it too. You know what I mean? So, yeah, very, very serious stuff. Now, all this aside from these tweets, this guy calling out, calling all these people out on their jobs. Good job, buddy. Good job. We'll see how much longer this guy's working for Collider, to be honest, because you don't do this. This is absolutely ridiculous. Honestly, if Mark Fernandez, the guy who apparently owns Collider, puts up with this, he's stupid. He's an absolute idiot. I would take fucking anybody to work for me over a guy who's going to go out there and say some stuff like this. And he's saying it about their own channel, about their own shows. That's absolutely ridiculous and should never, ever be done by anybody. I've talked about this before. I used to work at Walmart. I worked at Walmart for years. I worked there for nearly 15 years of my life. And you know what? I had a plan at one point. I was going to get, they were going to demote me and all this kinds of stuff. Just kind of all kinds of crazy stuff happened at that time. What I did is I went on a leave of absence, went on a stress leave, and I went and I got some shit in line to start my own business, something that I had been planning to do for a long, long time. I went out there and I made a better life for myself and my family, and I am fucking thankful I did that, okay? I went back to work after getting everything in line. After about a month, a month or two off from work, I went back to work, and I went back to work and I put in my 2 weeks notice. I put in my 2 weeks notice at work, and you know what I did, or what they did when I put in my 2 weeks notice? 2 days later, they fired me. They let me go. Well, I guess they didn't fire me because I already turned in my 2 weeks, but they let me go right there. After 2 days of me turning in my 2 week notice that I was going to be quitting. And you know what? I wasn't the slightest bit pissed off. The guy who pulled me in the office and actually did it, I never worked with the guy before. He was a newer assistant manager. I didn't hold any grudges with any of the people there for that, especially now. Because I've moved on. I've done better for myself. I've done better than the job that I had there. Granted, I do miss the job. I miss what I was doing there. I miss being in that leadership role, working with people, building up teams and things like that. Just like these people who lost their jobs. They did the same thing. Don't think they didn't. They had to build these audiences that were tuning into these shows. But you know one thing I never did? Is I never went out there in any way, shape, or form and talked shit about Walmart for them letting me go. Because I put in my 2 week notice. I could have. I could have easily. With just some of the things that were going on in management and just all the kind of different things that were going on there. I could have easily said a lot of things about them. But you know what? To this fucking day, I still get online when I hear people talking bad about Walmart, because there's a lot of people with a lot of misconceptions out there about it. And I still defend Walmart. Walmart's not a bad company. You know what I mean? Are they the best company? Absolutely not. Could they do better? Sure. I think a lot of companies could. But one thing I never did was went out there and talk shit in a public forum about the company of Walmart themselves, or even any of the assistant managers, or the store manager, or the co-manager, or anything like that. I'm an adult. Life happens. You know what I mean? That's just what happens. Like I said, every place could use has room for improvement. But this guy who is the leader of the company is going out there, second in charge, is going out there talking trash and disparaging the work of all the people that had just lost their jobs and built the audience that they have there on their channel. And that's absolutely wrong. And kind of what brought this to my attention was the John Campea show. Yeah. Now I know a lot of people out there don't like John Campea and don't watch his show. Maybe they do watch his show because they just want to go out there and hate on him and his show and his opinions and things like that. And that's fine. You're more than welcome to do that. Just because I like John Campea doesn't mean that you have to like him. Just because I watch his show daily doesn't mean you have to watch it. Doesn't mean you have to watch it at all. It doesn't mean that I care if you don't like the guy or you do like the guy. It's irrelevant. It's completely irrelevant. So yesterday, was it yesterday? Yeah, yesterday morning, on his live stream show, on the John Campea show, he went out there and actually addressed it. First thing when the show started, you can go check out the John Campea show from yesterday if you'd like to. It should be pretty easy to find. The first thing he talked about was Collider and them canceling all these shows. He had departed from Collider a number of years ago. Had his differences with just I don't know, just whatever. I don't know the situation. But he went on his show yesterday and talked about it because he knew it was going to be something people were going to ask him about, so he might as well get out of the way. And he went out there and he talked about it. And you know what? He still didn't talk trash about him. He didn't talk shit about him. He didn't say anything bad about them whatsoever. And he's probably in a position, and he probably has feelings where he easily could have. Well, lo and behold, today he went ahead and addressed this very same tweet today on his show. Apparently, it was during his open mic live. And it's like you can go, and I dropped that at the very top of the chat. You can scroll up to the very top. Maybe I'll see if I can grab that again here and share that link again right here for you guys. Oh, dang it, that's not what I meant to do. Let's see. So here's that link. Oh man, come on. Here's that link right here where you guys can. Let's see. Where you guys can go check out the John Campea show where he addressed this. Now this is a 30-minute video that he did. Probably like this video is gonna be, but he went out there and addressed this situation head on. And I'm telling you, like, John Campea don't always go off on his show. But this is 30 minutes of him doing nothing but fucking ranting. And at the end of it, he ends up saying, after he tears this guy to shreds and pretty much says a lot of the same things I just told you. He gets done to the end and he says, well, that I'm done with my rant. I'm done acting like a baby and all of these kinds of things. And I'm sitting there. I don't care whether you like John Campea or not. It wasn't him crying. It wasn't him being out of line. He was telling the fucking truth about the situation, because you shouldn't go out there and trample on people's hard work like that. Never ever should you do that. Like I said, even if you got people who are underperforming and stuff like that, there's ways to do that without being an asshole like this guy Jack Hind had done. This is absolutely wrong. And John Campea, I doubt you will ever watch this video, but you're not wrong, and you weren't ranting and you weren't crying. It wasn't you acting like a baby or anything like that, because you were 100% right. And that the fact that this guy went out there and did all of these things to all these people that had just lost their jobs is absolutely idiotic and something that should never be done by anybody. The type of people who do this are fucking assholes, just like this Jack Hind guy. This is wrong, guys. This is wrong. This is something, the other day I was even, on one of my morning movie chats, that was something I was talking about with leadership and stuff like that, and following orders and all those kinds of things. There's always a time and a place. But if you're a leader, this is something you should absolutely never, ever do. It's just wrong. It's just wrong. And like I said, there's that link down there where you guys can go and check out that video that John Campea done. It was a great video. Like I said, I like John Campea's channel anyway. I literally watch his show every single day because he talks about movies. Movies are something that I love. Movies have been a part of my life ever since I was a child. And no, I'm not saying my parents neglected me and just sat me in front of a TV or anything. We lived clear out in the country. We had a satellite dish. We had the scrambler chip and all that kinds of stuff. I mean, I watched a lot of TV. I watched a lot of movies. My parents loved movies. My father loved movies. When we went to the movie theater, we were never late. You're never late to a movie. You get there, you watch the trailer, you're always there on time. That's how it was when I was growing up, and that's still how I tend to take things. You know, I love movies, so I love talking about movies. The John Campea show is part of the reason that I started my morning show that I do Monday through Fridays, the morning movie chat, to talk about movies. And that's one of the things, you know, I guess you could say I've kind of based a lot of my content and been growing, I don't know, I guess I've been growing some subscribers there by doing that. And that's what I look forward to you guys, is your guys' input when I'm talking about movies and films and things like that, to give me more things to talk about. I honestly wish that a lot more people would reach out to me for certain subjects and things like that to talk about, because that's something I love doing. I started doing those morning movie chats because I know that there are a number of people out there, probably maybe just like yourself, who don't like watching the John Campea show. And I get it. So I'm like, hey, I might as well talk about movies. I like movies and I somewhat know what I'm talking about when it comes to them. You know what I mean? Kind of. You know, just kind of. But this is, you know, again, this is ridiculous. And John Campea's, you guys should go watch John Campea's video that he done on this. It was a great video. Like I said, I think it was about 26 minutes long, where he went off there on a nice long rant. And he's right about every single point that he had made. This Jack Hind guy is way out of line. And I'll be honest with you, who knows? Who knows if this guy will even be working there for much longer? I mean, I think unless he's financially invested in it, he might not be there much longer. Because I can assure you one thing: when a person in a leadership role does something like that, every single person below him sees it and sees that conduct and don't want to have anything to do with it. Because I can guarantee you, everybody there at Collider, aside from this guy, liked and appreciated all those people that were let go and whose shows were canceled there on Collider. You know? I can guarantee you they all have some sort of connection with each other. They're probably if they're not friends, they've probably, you know, worked with each other long enough that they've developed a working relationship. And that's not to say that they're friends, but they have that working relationship. You know what I mean? And this guy, this Jack Hind, goes out there and pretty much, you know, just I mean, he just lays it all out there, and he's being a complete jerk about these kinds of things. And I can guarantee you, nobody wants to work for that kind of guy. You know what I mean? No company wants to keep a guy like that employed, because he's making them look bad. You know, this guy's going out there touting about how they're going to be coming out with some better shows than just talking about movies and fart jokes. Prove it, pal. Prove it. Who are you going to bring onto your show to help build your audience again now? Because I can guarantee you, if you haven't got people hired already, ready to, people that already have audiences and ready to integrate them onto your platform, nobody's going to want to go work for you at this point. Nobody's going to want to work for that guy, because I guarantee you, the second they get hired and they find out that this Jack Hind, who is talking shit about all these other people who would put in their hard work building an audience for Collider, once they hear about that, they're going to be like, I don't want to work for that guy. I work my ass off to only, you know, if I'm here for 3 years and I end up moving on to something better or get fired or whatnot, all this guy's going to do is go out there and make a big fucking joke about it and talk shit about me. Nobody wants to work around that. Nobody wants to work for somebody like that. I can guarantee you that. You know what? And I'll tell you that. I can guarantee that, because I don't mind a manager being an asshole. I've dealt with asshole managers. I worked for asshole managers. I worked for people who were complete jerks. But you know what? Some of those people were some of the best managers and leaders I worked for. Because though they may have been a jerk, they never talked down on your work. They would always help you out. They set forth good working practices. You know, they set good examples out there for work. Just because they were a jerk, just because I didn't always agree with them, because, you know, I was a kid, you know, at one point, you know, through my teens, when I started working when I was 14 years old, all the way through my 20s and all the way through my 30s. I worked with a lot of different managers. There were some that I didn't like, and some of those ones I really didn't like, they weren't always like jerks or anything like that. I just didn't like them because of other different things. But I can guarantee you, nobody wants to work for a guy like this who's going to talk shit about people's work. And the second that anybody goes into that studio or whatnot to try to apply to get a job and get hired, they don't want to have nothing to do with it. They don't want to have anything to do with it, and I can guarantee you that. And that's why, I got I've got that title there. Collider cancels themselves, because I think that's something they just did. They lost audience members doing what they just did. They lost subscribers. There's going to be people who are not going to tune into their shows. There's going to be, and we know how social media is. There's going to be people who go there on their shows just to talk trash, which I think is wrong, because if you don't like them, don't go to their shows. Don't give them the clicks, because you're giving them views and you're giving them the attention that they need and that they want. You know what I mean? At this point, I never went to Collider anyway, but at this point, I'm like, dude, I'm not going there for anything at this point. I have no reason to, because I don't want to watch people who act like this and conduct themselves like this about people's hard work and audiences that they built. It's just wrong. It's absolutely wrong, and I would never do that to anybody. When I was in a leadership role, even when I was managing people, I never did that. Even people whose work was subpar and needed to improve, people who probably deserved to be fired, I did everything I could to go, we'd have to reprimand them, pull them into the office, tell them what they did wrong, what the expectations are, what they need to do, coach them, if you will. And then as soon as we got done, we didn't tear the person down. As soon as we got done with that person, telling them what they need to do, what they needed to improve, and all these kinds of things, their expectations, I went out and I went out and worked with these people myself to build them up, to try to get them up to those expectations, to know what I expected, to know what the company's expectation was, and what's expected of them, of their work. And some of these people, they were okay for a little while, but, it eventually dips, and some of these people ended up losing their jobs. And believe me, I didn't feel good about that. You know what I mean? The thing I did feel good about was the fact that I didn't just ever get somebody into they got themselves into the position, but I didn't ever go out there and do this to somebody that didn't deserve it. And I can honestly say I feel good about it, because I actually went out there and tried to help these people out. And this guy, this Jack Hind guy, he's not that kind of guy. He's not that kind of guy. He's the kind of guy that works behind all the people that bust their asses. And when the manager comes around, he's like, oh, he picks up, like, oh, I'm working hard. He's writing off the coattails of everybody else's hard work. And nobody likes working with that guy. I can guarantee you, anybody watching this show does not like working with that guy. Nobody does. Nobody likes the guy who's dragging his feet, who don't contribute, who don't do work, and has to sit there and fucking criticize everybody. That's what this guy done, and it's absolutely wrong. And I think it's bullshit. I think it's bullshit. And like I said, I'm not subscribed to Collider anyway, and you can I'll guarantee you, I'm not ever going to subscribe to him at this point. Because it's just wrong. It's just wrong. Anyway, sorry. Man, maybe I went off a little bit there. But these are the kinds of things that I'm passionate about. I'm passionate about work, about hard work. I'm passionate about leadership and teamwork. These are some of the things that I did when I was working. I know what it's like to take people and get them to work together, to take a group of people who just want to work for themselves, who have their own goals, and get them to work towards a common goal. I know what it's like to do that. I know what it's like, and I even did this stuff when I wasn't even in a leadership role, because that's what leaders do. You don't have to have a position. You don't have to have that. If you're a leader, you're just a leader, and people will follow you, okay? And this guy is not one of those guys. I've never done this. I would never do this to anybody. And it's just wrong. It's just wrong. I honestly don't know what else to say. I honestly don't know what else to say. Like this kind of stuff, it breaks my heart seeing people out there who conduct themselves like this and act like this towards other people and their hard work. Anyway, let's go ahead and get here into the live chat, see what's up with everybody. Rosetta Allen, thank you so much for being here. She says, no, I'm not, but I hope you are. Well, Rosetta, I hope things get better for you. I hope you get better. I know things aren't always easy, but obviously you're a strong person, and I think you'll end up getting through it. Sometimes, we got to take care of our health. Our health is something very important, and I can tell you, just from experience. Taking care of your health is very important. Getting rest, relaxation, and de-stressing. Stress is a killer on everybody's bodies. You know what I mean? My sister, who's been trying to lose weight, she was doing keto. She was in ketosis. She was following the diet. She was eating all this. She was doing everything you have to do, everything that I was doing when I was losing all my weight and finding success. But she wasn't doing it because of stress. So, Rosetta, I think that's something you should do. Do whatever it takes for you to de-stress, and hopefully that will. Hopefully that will help out. I think that's a huge thing. Snowdub Music and Entertainment says smash that like button. Jenner check. Yeah, man. Thank you for being here, Snowdub. Fanzine. Greg, how you doing today? He says forget Collider, forget Campea. Second Street Marvel is where it's at. Thank you very much. I appreciate that, Fanzine. And you know what? Just here over the past I don't know, here over the past few months, kind of been growing the audience and things here on the channel. Probably much thanks due to people like the Dark Council, all my brothers over there, Drunk 3PO, the President Abu Nas, Fatal J, Demonjanai, Lord Callus. We've been all there doing these shows together. People like Young Ripper 59, people like Josh over at the Den of Nerds. People, did I already mention LB? I've mentioned him several times in the video. People like LB and things like that who have been sending people my way, man. I'm truly flattered that anybody would actually even come and watch me flap my gums, I do truly appreciate the support I've been getting from everybody out there in the community. And one thing, you know what? There's somebody I've been meaning to give huge shout outs to, and I've neglected to, and I'm really sorry for that. And that's the Fandom Collective. The Fandom Collective is a group of a few guys over on Twitter who who are very heavily involved here on YouTube with the YouTube community, and a group of content creators that they've kind of aligned with. And what they do is they go out there and they promote other YouTube channels. That's what they do. They spend a lot of time doing this. Every single video I drop on my channel, I'm willing to bet you could go there and find that they probably tweeted out this live video that I'm doing right now. So big shout out to the Fandom Collective as well. And again, thank every single one of you who comes here to my channel to watch me flap my gums about a bunch of nonsense and supports me in that way. I do greatly appreciate every single one of you anytime that you guys show up here to watch me flap my gums. I greatly appreciate that. Let's see here. Rosetta says, I hate Collider, but this is a total bitch move. Yes, it is. It's wrong. People should not, you shouldn't be trampling on other people's work, especially when they're the ones. I can guarantee you, these people are the people who got you a job. If it wasn't for them, you wouldn't be getting paid, pal. Sir Nerdalot says, hello there. Well, hello there to you, Sir Nerdalot. Thank you so much for being here. Says, very bad look for Collider. This is hugely detrimental. I'm telling you, go to Twitter and check out that feed. There's people. I mean, there's hundreds, if not thousands, of people there. Probably hundreds, saying that they're unsubscribing and they're not going to follow Collider anymore, because that's just wrong. Of course, there's those people out there who are going to hate follow them and hate watch their videos. People love drama. People love drama. J528 says, I agree with the redhead. Yes. Rosetta Allen says, the redhead? Sure, Jay, is that is how you know me. J528 says, damn, this guy's a dick. It is. This is a total dick move. Just trampling on people's hard work like that. Dog School says, hello, thank you so much for being here. Greatly appreciate you being here. Tommy, the hardest working moderator on YouTube, is here. Thank you so much for being here. As well as Christy, according to Christy. She said, what the hell is going on? A whole lot. Collider, the person that's second in charge over at Collider, is a douchebag. He's a douchebag. That's really all he can say about it, is he's out there talking a lot of trash about the people who used to work for the company that he's the second in charge of, apparently. Apparently he's the second in charge. He's going out there and just talking a bunch of trash about their work on social media. Now, I know that that's kind of how Twitter is and social media in general, but that's just wrong. That's just wrong. Fred Zifferhofer, thank you so much for being here, says, you sound nervous or pissed, but I subbed based on the passion, and I don't even like Marvel. Knapsack is the man. I don't know who Knapsack is, but okay. Oh, are you talking about the guy who was who was the one who replied to him. I don't know who he is neither, but I can guarantee one thing. I'm going to go follow him. At this point, I feel like going and backing up his book just because this guy was talking trash about him and his hard work. But thank you so much for being here, Fred. I don't always talk about Marvel. I cover a lot of comic books. I do comic book reviews and things like that. But I do talk a lot about movies. I do the morning movie chat, which I do Monday through Friday at 8 a.m. Pacific Standard Time. So make sure you have those bell notifications turned on if you want to check that out. If you're nerdy about movies and want to talk more about movies, feel free to reach out to me on Facebook, Instagram, and even Twitter at the Second Street Marvel, like it says right there. And if you have any suggestions or anything that you think I should talk about that you'd like me to talk about, or anything to do with movies, let me know. I'll happily talk about them. Perry Comics says, "Yo, what's up, Perry Comics? How you doing today?" The Great Council says, "Broseph Trinity, Darth Daddy." Lazy Millennial says Collider went downhill ever since Schnepp passed away, and that's what I heard. I never seen any of the shows with John Schnepp. I think I seen a couple that he was on, and he certainly seemed like a really passionate dude and a huge nerd, which I totally appreciate. I like to keep it nerdy. Lou, good day. How are you doing today? I hope you're doing well. Lou is another one of great supporters from across the pond. Let's see here. Lazy Millennial says, also, Collider started shilling pretty hard. They never had any strong opinions because they were trying to maintain their access to studios, actors, and premieres. Yeah, and I will say one thing, and I was talking about this the other day, is if people, like, if you're making movies, if you're making comic books, if you're making music, if you're doing anything, like, if you're a content creator here on YouTube, if you're posting all kinds of pictures on Instagram, if you're on social media, if you're on the internet, you're subjecting yourself to criticism. Now, sure, there's a bunch of jerks out there and a bunch of people who are just going to talk trash, and a lot of people will label as trolls and everything anyway with their skewed views and all that stuff. You're subjecting yourself to that, but you know what? These same people, these these Hollywood people, these producers, these directors, these studios and stuff like that, need to know that they're subject to scrutiny. They're not perfect. When somebody don't like something they do, it's okay to criticize that and be negative. Well, not negative about it, but be critical of it. You know what I mean? Be critical of it. It's okay for people to do that. Just because you don't like it, you need to listen to those people, because those are the people that are watching your content, that are watching your movies, that are reading your books, that are reading your comic books, that are listening to your music. You should be able to handle criticism. If you can't do it, just stop what you're doing, stay at home, lock yourself indoors, and don't go out in the world. Because that's what big people put up with every single day of their lives. But yeah, from what I've heard about Collider, that apparently that is what they were doing, trying to do that. Lazy Millennial says Schmodown was really good, but even that went downhill because you can only have so many trivia questions about the same Marvel movies over and over. And I haven't watched Schmodown either, but maybe one of these days I need to go check that out. Lazy Millennial says Collider spread themselves way too thin. They did too many podcasts, too many shows, and had too many hosts, too many spin-off channels. Yeah, I was going to say, I know if you go search Collider, they have a bunch of channels they put out there. Lazy Millennial also says, it's not surprising that Collider ended right after Rise of Skywalker released, because that was the only reason to watch their Star Wars content, and now that Star Wars is over, Collider is over too. Apparently that's the truth. Interesting thing about one of the guys that worked over there at Collider. I'd heard, just some rumors of that he was one of the other guys over there who was a host of one of their shows. He was kind of done with it anyway. He was kind of done talking about Star Wars, getting tired of it, probably just because of a lot of the discourse that's going on with the Star Wars fandom and things like that. So I get it. Like, believe me, I talk about a bunch of nerdy stuff here. Like, I'm tired of talking about Star Wars. I don't even want, and I like Star Wars. You know what I'm saying? Even the sequel trilogy and all the mess it's been. Even I still like these movies. Like, they're not the best. They're not the best. But even I still like them. You know what I mean? Not to the point where I'm gonna go out there and say they're great. Aggressively relax. Tommy says, yeah, fair enough. You drinking enough water, mate? Oh yeah, definitely gotta make sure you stay hydrated. Matter of fact, everybody, if you're here on the live chat, you should probably drop that in the live stream right now. Drop Hashtag stay hydrated. Very, very great advice, man. You can see I'm drinking this water cup was full when I started. And you can see now it's maybe you can't see. It's getting pretty empty. It's getting pretty empty already, and I haven't even been going that long. Aggressively relaxing says, "Oh no, what will Red Letter Media make fun of now?" Right? Oh man, Red Letter Media is funny, man. They are hilarious. The Great Council says, agree completely, Trent. Well, thank you, thank you. I do my best to try to, like I said, I've been in leadership roles and things like that before. I was, and believe me, I had people that I worked with that didn't really. I can't say they hated me, but they didn't really like me necessarily, or had never worked with me much. Where I had chances where I had to go in there with them and talk to other associates and just different things like that, who were just like, oh wow, like damn, you're really good at this. People who even didn't like me, who had the respect for me, because I didn't do what this guy did. I didn't go out there talking trash about anybody's hard work. Um, just says a lot about the leadership over there. So and the fact that Mark Fernandez is letting this happen speaks volumes. Speaks volumes if he lets this guy get away with it. I don't care if the guy retracted his tweet or not. That's messed up. That's messed up. Theodore Theodore Unit TMC says, I just subscribed to you and unsubscribed Collider. This sucks. Yeah, again, that's messed up. And thank you for subscribing. Like I said, I do morning movie chats Monday through Friday. If you ever have anything you want me to talk about, feel free to get a hold of me at the Second Street Marvel, Facebook, Instagram, or Twitter. Thank you. Thank you. I appreciate that. According to Christy, is dropping the Fandom Collective link in there. Yeah, like I said, they're very, very good, great guys. And they actually have a channel here on YouTube as well. Downright Records Arcade says, word up. Sith Lord, thank you so much for being here. Excuse me, I just got done eating some wings when all this came up. I seen this video dropped by John Campea, and I was sitting there eating some hot wings, and I was like, holy crap! I watched that video, and it was like a half hour long of John Campea just tearing into this guy, and he was absolutely right with everything he said. Lonely Banter, thank you so much for being here. Like I was talking about Lonely Banter earlier, he's right here in the chat. Like I said, another great one of my favorite content creators here on YouTube. According to Chrissy says, damn, that's really stupid of them to do, and I've been sick as hell, so I haven't been on Twitter much. Hey, understandable. Hey, you're probably sick because of Twitter. Let me tell you, you're probably sick because of Twitter. Stu Jersey X, thank you so much for being here. Appreciate it. Sith Lord says, I watched Rabid last night, Second Street. Decent flick, sir. Yeah, it's great. Every single time I watch it, it just gets better and better. It's a great movie. And in case you guys don't know, I've been talking a lot about that movie and the Soska sisters and just how awesome they were. I got to meet them at Screamfest LA when that movie did its North American premiere. Just absolutely great ladies, man. Great directors. And one of these days, there's going to be a movie studio out there that gives these ladies a big budget to make either a horror film or a great superhero film. And these ladies are going to knock it out of the park. And plus, they are the sweetest ladies in the world. I swear. You go follow the Soska sisters, or I believe it's at Twisted Twins on I think you can follow them there on Facebook, Instagram, or Twitter as well. At Twisted Twins, they are like the sweetest people in the world. They're twin sisters. They do horror movies. They're directors, producers. Even do some writing. They wrote one of my favorite comic books of last year, and that was Black Widow's No Restraints Play. It's now on trade paperback. You should go check it out if you like comic books. But yeah, it's a good movie. According to Chrissy says, at the Great Council evening, still not calling you daddy. Rev Kev, thank you so much for being here. I hope you're doing well today. Theodore Unit TMZ says, King of the Sweaties, John Schnepp. Yeah, I heard he was a really great dude, and you can see when people talk about him, the impact that he had on a lot of people out there in the nerdy community. Kermit the Log says, awesome chat. Thank you so much for being here, Kermit, I see. Okay, never mind. Lou says, I try and spread positivity. Too much negativity around. Criticism isn't negativity. I agree, mate. Yeah, it's not. Now, people can be negative in their criticisms, and I get it. Sometimes it's easy to get caught up in that. But more so than anything, I think criticism is just criticism. I don't think it's always negative. Kermit the Log, you changed your name? Yeah. Apparently you did. I was just noticing that too. Let's see. Kermit the Log says, according to Christy, because people are stalking my page and flagging, and I had to change it so they couldn't take me down. Nice, yeah. And there's a whole lot of weird stuff going on right now with people. Sith Lord says, Tommy, if you still got that bad headache, 800 milligrams of Motrin and Advil should knock it out. Should knock it out. But I think more than anything, well, I can't remember who else was up there saying it, was get hydrated, stay hydrated. Water is the most important thing that you can drink. My sister was out, she's trying to lose weight and stuff as well, and she don't like water. And I'm telling you, you know what? You need to stop drinking everything else you're drinking and just drink water. You have to do it. Water is the essential building, it's the number one building block of life. I love hydrating. Plus, I went and did about 45 miles today riding my bicycle. So I'm probably a little behind and need to catch up, which you can't really catch up. Like while you're out, you got to do it like at times like right now. Kermit the Log says, I still like them too, but I'm probably going to hell for that. I must have missed something there. Rev Kev says, tired about talking Star Wars. That's possible? Well, in some aspects, yes. What were you watching? Thank you so much for being here. What Were You Watching is another great channel you guys should go check out. Ryan over there, What Were You Watching, makes hilarious videos. I love his videos. He does reviews and stuff like that. Man, he did this one on Time Cop that I was dying laughing, man. I watch it. Occasionally I go through and watch that video again because it's hilarious. So said hashtag stay high. Hydrated. You guys are funny. Tommy says, Sith Lord back is killing me more than the headache. Go to a chiropractor. I'm not sure if you go to a chiropractor, Tommy, but go to a chiropractor. Also, go see a masseuse. It will definitely help out with that. Another thing I always do when my back is really hurting is sleep on your back, obviously, and put some pillows up under your legs to keep your legs elevated. But it takes I don't know. It just seems to do something for me anytime I've ever had some of those back problems. So yeah. Snowdev says, somebody say hi. Don't forget your towel. Somebody should work on both, Tommy. Yeah, definitely. Lou says, Tommy, has Second Street offered you a back massage yet? Hey, I would give you a back massage, Tommy. But like he's like half. Well, he's clear across the United States from me, and I only know because he won a comic book recently. I had to ship out to him. Yeah, he's another one of those East Coasters, man. Let's see. Sith Lord says, packable. So good exact then. A cup of coffee a day is good for you too. Yeah, certainly. Because one of the things it does, what it does is it releases, man, I can't even remember what it's called right now. It releases that out of your body. Not insulin, but I can't think of what it is. But it's good that it releases that it gets it out of your body. Plus, it's a nice little pick-me-up, too. Downright Records Arcade says, yo, Kermit the Log. But anyway, guys, that's all I have for this video today, guys. This has gone on way longer than I expected it to or wanted it to. But in case you can't tell, like I've been talking about just like leadership and these kinds of things out there lately. And I was talking about this particular subject just the other day on the channel. Something that I would normally not touch on had it not been something that is kind of within the realm of things that I do and talk about. And that's movies, music, and even comic books. And Collider certainly does a lot of movie talk and things over. Well, not anymore. Not anymore. They canceled that show. They canceled their Jedi Council too. They canceled all of them. So thank you all so much for tuning in to the Second Street Marvel. Good luck to you, Collider. If you're not already, please make sure you're subscribed. Click the little bell and all of that good stuff. Like I said, you can follow me on Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter at the Second Street Marvel, or make sure you're subscribed and hit that bell so you get notifications anytime I have uploaded new content. And I did drop my comic book pull list just the other day, doing some giveaways. Make sure you go get entered into those, and we'll see you all in the next video. Later.